Jay, this is the thing that I'm
Yeah.
fascinated by is we have these two teams over the last 4 years, and now it's the third meeting in the conference finals, right? Um, the series in the bubble was great, right? You have Bam's dunk on or Bam's block on the Tatum dunk as like one of the defining moments and all this stuff. Then they meet last year. Jimmy Butler misses that three and they eke out a win. Now this is going to a game seven. Like we talk about all these other things, and granted, like Giannis in the middle of that won a title, right? And the Bucks have been really good. And we talked about the Nets and we talked about the Sixers and what can they do. But these two teams like own the Eastern Conference right now, and it's very fitting. As much as I wanted a sweep just to rub it in your face about heat culture, I I am legitimately glad that this has happened the way it has because one, it's a fucking game seven. Two, history's on the line. Yeah. And three, I get to yell at anyone who's gonna wonder who has more pressure. It's game seven going to the NBA finals. You win, you go to the NBA finals. No one has more pressure than the other. Like everyone has an equal amount of pressure. It's so dumb. Like that's gonna be a talking point tomorrow. Or I guess Monday, whenever the hell this comes out. But Jay, like these two teams own the East.
Yeah, and not only that, but every series they've played has just been
It's absurd.
War.
It's absurd basketball.
And it always comes down to like just a play. Just a play. The Bam block on Tatum. Last year, Butler's pull up. This year, maybe it's the White layup. Like it just comes down to one play between two teams that are super tough and super committed. That was the most fun part of game 6 to me, was just the desperation on both sides. And Kyle Lowry has had nothing since the first half of game 1 in this series.
He really,
and that dude was pulling out nonsense just because he's a super competitor. Yeah. Like that bucket he had over Jaylen Brown.
Oh, that was nuts, man.
It was the most old man shit.
It was such a YMCA move, man.
I have ever seen.
It had no business going in. It had zero business falling. Like I was watching this going like, what are we doing here?
No, Virtuosity's right. It had no business going in.
He had literally no prayer of getting an inch of separation between him and Jaylen Brown, and somehow was able to sneak a bucket over the top. But Lowry made plays. Jimmy summoned everything he had left over the last 4 minutes after struggling. Bam couldn't score, but had so many offensive rebounds.
Yeah, he was great on the board too.
The Celtics went 7 for 35, their worst shooting night of the season, and they haven't been able to win while missing threes all year and just dig one out. It was just two teams absolutely desperate, competitive as hell, and it was just such fun basketball.